So while we have a break in the live racing action, want to talk a little bit about this big international festival of racing that we have coming up at Hong Kong. And if there's a big international racing festival, it's odds on that you're going to find this person in the grandstand.
Only one man.
And that is Pat Cummings,
PC.
who we welcome to the starting gate right now. And Pat, we're just over about a month away from our biggest day of racing here in the States, which is the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships. What sort of day is this in racing in Hong Kong?
It's certainly a big day. It is the day, gentlemen, and thanks for having me on, where Hong Kong shines on the world stage. They run a few other international races that are open to international invitees, but this is really the one premier day where they put them all together on the same calendar and say, let's go. And it's a phenomenal atmosphere. They do really well. And, you know, it's not often you get 70,000 people or so in one location for international races outside of maybe the Breeders' Cup and Royal Ascot and things of that nature. So it's a phenomenal atmosphere here in Hong Kong. And
Pat, we'll start with the Hong Kong Vase in Flintshire for Judd Mott Farms and Andre Fabre. He's only had 5 races this year in 2014. Most recently, we saw him with a second-place finish in the Breeders' Cup Turf behind Main Sequence. How would you rank the strength of the Breeders' Cup Turf field compared to the Vase this year?
You know, it's a funny question, and this horse is particularly, I think he kind of plays with the head a little bit because he ran second in the Arc de Triomphe. He ran second in the Breeders' Cup Turf, and I don't think anyone's really going to argue off the fact that Main Sequence idled on the lead. In his previous 3 wins prior to the Breeders' Cup Turf, Main Sequence had literally just been getting to the lead at the very end. Flintshire has run second in 2 of the world's premier mile-and-a-half turf races, and at the same effect, he almost didn't have a really winning impact on the race. I mean, he never really touched the front in the Arc, and he barely had the lead in the Breeders' Cup Turf when it looked like Main Sequence was always going to run him down. So here you're going to have a horse who is very short. I think he's probably going to be less than 2 to 1 in this particular spot, and I think he's well worth playing against with a couple other horses that are in this spot.
And one of those other horses in the Vase is Red Cadeau, who's earned $7.2 million. He's lost his last 14 races, Pat, but you just have to love a hard-knocking gelding pretty much all throughout his career.
I actually referred to him earlier today here in Hong Kong as a less successful version of Forgo. He dances so many dances. Granted, he doesn't win much, but people love this horse. Yeah. He is winless since the 2012 Hong Kong Vase, yet due to the fact that he's run second in the Melbourne Cup a couple times, second in the Dubai World Cup, he's danced so many dances, he has made millions in the last 14 starts, Joaquin. He is a very engaging element. I'll be honest, though, you just never know when you're going to get that winning effort from this horse, and he's very well respected in this short price. I'm not, if he ends up 5-6 to 1, I'm just not sure I could support him with my money.
Well, from one hard-knocking gelding to another, the 8-year-old Cirrus des Aigles, who will be going in the Hong Kong Cup, maybe had a bit of an excuse last out, even though he's performed well over some soft ground before, but it was heavy ground last out when he disappointed in the Champions Cup at Ascot. But Pat, he's still in really good form this year.
He is, and his win on the Arc undercard Arc weekend at Longchamp was really a very strong win, and the incredibly liberal French stewards, or actually depending upon the way in which you want to look at it, liberal or conservative, they nailed him with an offense that I mean, he won the Prix de l'Arc by 2 or 3 lengths. Legitimately, he wasn't even fully extended to do it, and they took him down anyway. I think this is funny. This is the 6th consecutive year Cirrus des Aigles has come to Hong Kong. He missed 1 year when he was here and he picked up an injury. But this horse will have run here 5 times. He's never won, no matter how much. This, I think, is 61st lifetime start. This is a horse I really think is fits well in the Hong Kong Cup. in a race where there's a lot of very talented local horses. He's one of the few internationals in this field. It's kind of weaker on the international front this year. And I think Sirius is with a real chance, and his trainer, Corinne Baran-Barb, feels the same way.
Pat, thank you so much for your insight, and enjoy the races out there in Hong Kong this weekend.
Thanks a lot, guys. All the best.